take a look at this river, gently flowing by. Similar to Janie's life, it is shrouded in mystery. I, Al Gore, undergo an endeavor to uncover this tale.
The only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only one who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was.
Come on in. I'll be with you in just a second. Let me just finish up. You take a sip. Okay. Hello. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you, sir?
Would you like some sweet tea? We got some in the kitchen.
Right now we're going to sit down with my friend here, and I'm going to ask him a few questions about Miss Janie. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. My name is Ted. My father, the first preacher man of Eatonville, was named Ignatius Peabody Nobel. That would make me Ted Nobel. He knew Miss Janie very well, as she was the dear wife of our first fantastic mayor, Mr. Joe Stock. So that's where I come into the story.
Okay. To what extent does religion play in the atmosphere of the community of Eatonville?
Well, religion's very important to our community here. It really provides the strong moral backbone that we need to stick together and survive and move forward as a community.
Mr. Nobel, so to what extent did Janie adhere to the religious teachings of the community?
Well, I believe that she wasn't very religious, so to speak. She did some things we're not too proud of. For example, she ran off with that miscreant tea cake soon after the death of our beloved Mr. Stocks, and I don't think that really adheres to what we believe to be a religious backbone in our community. And she also wasn't too nice with her husband. I think she didn't respect him quite as much as the rest of us did. And you know, the Bible does say a lot about the respect between a man and a woman, and I just don't think she had that.
So you mentioned the beloved Joe Starks. Why was it that Joe Starks is so idolized in your community?
Well, I don't think he's quite idolized. I think he's just a great man. He really brought this town together, and you can't have a church without the foundation, and he was the foundation. He brought us a store, a post office, our first street light, things that we didn't think we could get, and we hadn't even thought of it. And this great man, he comes in with his ideas, and he revitalized the town. So that's why we respect him so much.
In your list of great contributions that Mr. Stark made to this community, you mentioned a street lamp. Can you explain why that would be so important to you?
Well, the street lamp is symbolic more than that. And I mentioned the store, and that was nutrition. I mentioned the post office, and that was, government as we need it. But the street lamp is symbolic of what we're here to do. We're here to shine a light into the world. And, it's like Jesus said in his Sermon on the Mount. He talked about the city on the hill. And he talked that just as this light cannot be hidden, we shall not be hidden from the world. And God's plan, it's ineffable. You don't know. He's omnipresent. He's everywhere. But we're here to help him forward. And that's what the street lamp is for.
Alright, I'm going to ask you one more question about Janie. Do you believe that because of her sin, she was subject to divine punishment?
Oh yeah. I mean, I personally believe that hurricane she experienced, that was God's way of pushing her back to us, And I don't know if that's all he has in plan for her in store, but, he gonna judge her when she go up to the gates of heaven. But, that was definitely something. Things like that don't happen without a reason.
Okay. Mr. Nobel, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Show yourself.
Now we're going to go meet with another one of my friends, Miss Phoebe. Miss Phoebe, it's great to see you.
Oh, it's lovely to see you too.
For the camera, why don't you introduce yourself and say how you came to know Miss Janie?
Well, I'm Phoebe. I met Janie in Eatonville. It was an up-and-coming community, and my husband Sam and I came to start in this wonderful community. We could get land, and over the years, Miss Janie and I have become closest of friends.
During your time in Eatonville, did you hear the community talk about Miss Janie a lot?
Well, in Eatonville, we have something called porch talk. Porch talk is what you white folk may relate to as gossip.
Porch talk? Why would you call it porch talk?
Well, see, the porch of the store, Mr. Joe Stocks, Mr. Mayor, his store had a porch. And many people of the community would sit on his porch during the day and over the night, and we would talk and play games. But a lot of the talk was a lot of gossip, a lot of things that was not necessarily true, or maybe it was true, but it was just talked about on the porch.
And this is the same porch that Janie worked at, correct?
It was, but Mr. Mayo did not allow Miss Janie out on the porch. She was told to work in the store all the time, and if she messed up, oh, you would not want to see Mr. Mayo with Mrs. Stocks. She messed up.
What kind of things did you hear about Janie at this porch talk?
Well, the porch, you see, is a very opinionated place. Miss Janie was looked down upon by many of the community during the porch talk sessions. They looked down upon her because of her marital affairs that were not approved of by the community. But what the community didn't know was that she was just down on her luck, you see. Many people thought she was living the life of a queen when she was here in Eatonville. They thought she had a very nice home, she was running a nice store, she was married to the mayor. But Janie, she wasn't too happy with her situation. And she was trying to find her own personality, her own identity, her own womanhood. And she thought that by being with these different men and by traveling and visiting different areas of Florida, that she was going to be able to become Janie, the person she wants to be.
Thank you very much, Phoebe, for your time, but I really must be going.
Are you sure? I know Sam's waiting back home for me to start looking up some dinner. Do you want some?
I'm completely okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Another round?
Sure.
So, I noticed your accent. You don't exactly sound like you're from here.
No, I'm from up north.
Oh, why are you in the Glades?
Heard a story from back where I'm from about this woman named Janie. I heard she came to the Glades, but no one's been able to tell me anything about her.
Janie with tea cake?
Yeah. You know her?
Oh, hot diggity dog. Well, let me tell you, Miss Janie, we used to call, what did we call her back in the day? We used to call her Lion Lady. She was very persistent, very nice lady. Oh, crazy. Then that hurricane came, I saw her again.
Huh. So what exactly was she doing here?
Well, she was here with her husband Tea Cake, and they worked over in the marsh down by Creek Meadow. And it's tough work, tough, hard work, but she was a real regal lady. She still did her part. It was nice to see that kind of thing.
So Tea Cake let her work with him?
Yeah, they were almost like eagles. I'd say, he was a little envious of her, He really looked up to her. She was a great lady. I mean, really fantastic. Very, very good.
How exactly did you come to meet Miss Janie?
Well, my uncle, Chief Sitting Bull, the local tribal father, invited me out. And it was strange. I was kind of scared because a few days later the hurricane was starting to come. So we were getting through it.
Here I am, rock you like a hurricane.
None of the poor black folks were running away. They all stood their ground, and I felt sure bad for Janie. She seemed like a sweet, regal character. But yeah, she was kind though. The rest were a little scared. They were making fun of us. She was nice. She She didn't make fun of our running. You know, she was a good lady.
Did you try to tell them that the hurricane was coming when you left?
Oh yeah, my uncle, he really tried to tell them. I mean, they were scared. They didn't want him to leave. Yeah, as they say themselves, their eyes were watching God. They didn't want to leave. They didn't know him. When they didn't help us and they didn't, you know, follow our direction, that's their own damn fault.
So they simply didn't listen to you?
No. I mean, some did. By then it was too late.
What did Janie think?
I don't
If
know.
you remember.
She was a little quiet. She didn't really talk to us. It was mostly TK and all of his, you know, gambling friends. They come in here sometimes, you know, gambling.
Bet you made some good money off of them.
Oh yeah, they're easy. Put a few of these in them.
Can I get your name so that I can... I'm doing a study on Janie's life, and you've provided some extremely valuable information. Can I get your name so I can include it?
Yeah. My name, did you write this down, is Inquisitive Artichoke. But you can call me Joe.
Mr. Joe, thank you so much for your time.
Don't worry about it. You sure I can give you a drink to go?
I'm all set. I think I've had enough.
Alright, it's not seen you. You come back now, you hear?
Here's somebody. Let's try to interview him. Excuse me, sir. Sir, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Can I get your name, please?
I'm Tom Boschman.
Tom?
Is this punked or something?
No, I'm sorry, sir. I'd like to ask you a few questions about Janie. Did you get a chance to meet her when she was here?
Who's Janie?
Oh, Tom!
I have finally concluded my research and have come to some very startling realizations. Janie's life, I have found, is like the world. As time has passed, it has been slowly heated by outside influences to a tipping point. And the inconvenient truth of it is that it has been overused by these influences, and said influences have come to meet their ruin. This has been an Al Gore presentation. Find me again in The Roast of George W. Bush.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away.